Jackson Radio Show.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Kevin Jackson here. So, we talked earlier, first segment, about this guy that apparently just didn't want to go to the bathroom to figure out what's going on with. He was farting next to two guys, two Dutchmen or something, going home, and he just continued, and they were like, "Hey, listen, could you please stop?" And he's like, "No, I'm not going to stop." And he rips another one or whatever. I don't know how, you give yourself whatever scenario you need to, but they knew it was him. There's a saying, he who smelt it dealt it, okay? In this case, these guys it was not that case of he who smelt it dealt it. That's not the case. So these guys are asking nicely, "Look, can you stop? Will you please stop?" I've told this story a few times. I had a guy who worked for me. His name is Fred. I won't give his last name. Fred, he farted at a nice dinner. I mean, when I was in the rep business, we took people to nice restaurants, 4-star restaurants, usually, occasionally 5-star. And Fred would be sitting at the table. We're all, people. I only went to dinner once where this happened, but my principals, the people that we represented, came back to me one evening, a couple of times in the evening, and said, "Kevin, Fred's a bit uncouth." And I went, "How so?" The guy's an electrical engineer, used to work at E-Systems. And I went, "How so?" He sings opera. He's in the symphony. I mean, what are you talking about? They said, "Man, he just farts anytime." I was like, "No way." And I'm thinking the dude is Joe. It's one of my good buddies. His name is Tom. I go, "Shut up, man. Stop playing." He says, "Kevin, I'm serious, bro. I'm telling you." I was like, "No, man, just quit." He goes, "Dude, I'm being serious." And he finally got me to believe it. I went, "What?" So I had a conversation with Fred. He convinced me that it was the truth. I thought I was going to be, one of these candid camera things. So I go into Fred's office like the day after I finally believed it. And I said, "Fred, what's this I'm hearing about you? Just farting anywhere." He goes, "Well, it's a natural bodily function." And I go, "Well, don't do it." He goes, "It's no different than burping." I go, "Yeah, it is." I mean, not that I like smelling burps. They smell nasty too, but a burp, you can kind of, I mean, it's a little more hidden, right? It's more acceptable, Anyway, we were all at dinner one night, including Fred, and God is my witness. He raises he raises up a butt cheek, leans to one side, raises up a butt cheek, and rips one. I'm not talking about what they call them, silent but deadlies. I'm not talking about that. He raised up and ripped one at a nice restaurant. Now, I'm his boss. His sales manager's there. He's there. We've got at least 4 principals there. And he does this. And I went, because I still, in the back of my head, even though the guy told me, that Tom told me that he did this, and I had a conversation with him and he rationalized it, I still couldn't believe that it would happen, certainly after my lecture, that you do not do that in public. And he did it. And I looked at him like, "Are you losing your mind?" And he's like, "What?" I said, "I thought we had this conversation." "Well, and he goes back, he says the same thing. "Well, it's just a natural bodily function." I went, "Yeah, so is peeing. What are you going to do? You going to get up and pee on the table or take a dump? What in the heck could you be thinking?" And I just read him the riot act. And then I told him when we got back the next day to the office, because this was in the evening, got back to the office later, when I saw him, I said, "You do that again, you're fired. Period. If I hear about it." Look, you got a dog. You guys got dogs. A dog, my dog, God bless him, he just, and he will sleep, he'll be asleep over there and right next to you, and if you're lucky, you can hear it, and maybe you can get to the ceiling fan just in time in a nick of time. Hit that button, because if you don't, oh Lord, it's bad. It's bad. And I wasn't even going to talk about this. I wanted to talk about something with Black Panther, but we might as well finish. Look, when that happens, it means your bowels are settling in. You got to go use the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. What's wrong? Are you too lazy to go to the bathroom? The guy that was farting on the plane, are you too lazy to say, "Hey, excuse me, I need to get up, Go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. It's happened to me before. I've been on many planes where suddenly you're like, oh God, okay, who did it? There's no way to identify. I've been in the seat by myself, and don't be saying, Kevin, if it was probably you while you were sleeping, you dealt yourself the other one. Right? No, I will be listening to my music or working the Sudoku on a puzzle on a magazine or something, and suddenly you get the whiff, and you're like, oh gosh, who thinks that they can sneak that in? Look, don't cut one thinking, okay, nobody's going to smell it. And see, I'm going to tell you something. This is what women do. Women will go, well, you'd never know. No, mine don't. So, yes, they do. Just for the record, you're stink, okay? They stink. Everybody's stink. Some stink worse than others based on your meal. But they stink. Let's just remember the origin, okay? You could burp, and that may be a pass, because if you ate a bunch of sugary stuff or some minty fresh stuff, you may burp and people go, whoa, has breath mints, huh? Or whatever. But you are rarely, if ever, unless you're doing something really strange like putting Tic Tacs in your cavities. I'm talking about your rear cavity. There's no way it comes out smelling good. And even if you did put a Tic Tac there, I'm going to tell you, it isn't going to help. So for those of you who are considering that, going, Kevin, I was thinking about what you said. Forget it. It's still going to smell bad. Oh, man. Too lazy to go to the bathroom. When I heard that story, and again, I didn't plan on doing 2 segments on this, but when I heard the story of the guy who kept passing gas with his seatmates on the plane saying, will you please stop? I said to myself, that's a liberal. That's a leftist. First of all, he was asked nicely. Will you please stop? There are restrooms on the plane. You might want to go to the bathroom and make sure there's not more to come. God forbid you shart. You know what a shart is, right? Yeah, it's when you think you're going to fart, but you actually do something else. That's called a shart. And you do not want to shart. And you don't want to sit next to somebody who's sharted. I guarantee you that. So, I sound like Trump when I say that. I guarantee you that. Yeah. But are you too lazy to go to the bathroom? Seriously. Just go to the bathroom. Do your business. Push out whatever needs to come out. And you'll feel so much better. But no, there are people out there who are determined to make your life miserable as they, I don't know, do you get some morbid, I'm not asking you guys, I'm not looking at you because I'm asking you, I'm just looking in your direction, but is there a morbid fascination with, making people suffer? Crop dusting your row and, the plane? And you're captive in a plane. There's nothing you could do except give a beat down. The only thing I would say is if I ask a guy nicely, will you please stop doing that, and he continues, I'm afraid I might get kicked off the plane. Because it's a horrible thing to have to sit through that. Like I told you guys, I sat through a nasty, funky people many times. And remember when you could smoke on planes? I took a trip to Hawaii with smokers. I was in the back section with smokers. It was horrible.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.